Hello everyone and welcome to day 5 of me learning to crochet. So I just made this little chain. I think it's a little bit too tight. I want to make this into a square, but I think it's a bit too tight because that second row was really hard to make. I'm going to just try for a third row, and if that's too hard I might just have to try the whole thing again while making the tension looser, because I feel like my tension's too tight even though it's more uniform now. But I like it tight. I like to make them tight. But I feel like it actually makes more sense to make them a little bit looser, because especially as a beginner, since it's more about the technique, I feel like, and I can't get the technique down if I'm trying to force the needle in every time. So I might just try one more row, and if it works then that'll be great and I'll continue with it. But if it's too tight I might just redo the whole thing with a looser tension, because I still have to try and work on my tensions anyway. So probably will be a good thing to practice. So let's see, just continue here. See, I feel like this is really loose, but then it always ends up quite tight. Or maybe it's supposed to be that tight and I'm just not used to, oops. I'm just not used to working through it yet. But here we go. It's always so hard to start a new row, because then my work goes all over, flips all over the place, and I have to try and catch it, if that makes any sense. And before I can get a good grip on it to continue, so that's the first one. That's the second one. Just click that. I should probably start learning the terminology for all of this as well. Would probably help quite a lot. But right now I just want to practice a square. I might, for the next video, just learn all of the terminology so I can actually kind of describe what I'm doing as I'm doing it, rather than just count as I've been doing. And I don't really like sitting in silence either. I'm a very talkative person normally. It's just when I need to concentrate, I can't really think about doing anything else other than concentrating, so my talking tends to taper off quite a bit, which probably makes for a very boring video, but the whole point of the video itself is to keep me motivated to continue to practice, really. So the whole point of this video mainly is to make sure I'm actually practicing, whether it's on camera or off camera. At least it gives me some time, forces me to put aside some time to actually do this. Whereas otherwise I would just keep putting it off, and then just forgetting about it, which is what my normal routine is, unfortunately. So even though these aren't very interesting videos and probably will never be viewed or reviewed, it's good to make them just for the sake of making them and practicing, and then maybe actually, perhaps when I'm better at this in the future, I can actually go back and just see how far I've come, if nothing else. Although I don't know if I could sit through a video of me doing this for who knows how long. So I don't really expect anyone else to have to sit through these as well. But even so, I feel like I need to like try and engage, if that makes sense, because if I'm making a video, I feel like I need to actually have some kind of content worth watching or listening to. Not that this is worth watching or listening to at the moment. But it is what it is, and it is my start. So far, I'm actually quite proud of myself for managing to do this as many days in a row as I have, and practicing outside of doing these videos as well, which is very unusual for me. When it comes to these craft things, they tend to just go all in and then immediately lose interest, which is very sad and something I desperately want to change. So here I am putting myself out there because I really, really want to be able to make those cute little dolls that I see everywhere now. I actually had ordered one from someone, and it is a gorgeous little doll. It's actually not that little, it's about 50 centimeters tall. But I wanted to always just make one on my own. Because like when you commission someone to make you these things, it's not exactly cheap, and it shouldn't be cheap because they put a lot of work and effort into it. But I've always wanted to be able to do that myself, for myself and for my family, and for every occasion I can just make them a doll or a little. I've seen these little cactuses, which I think are absolutely adorable. Or even just like a blanket. Like, I'm at that age where people are getting married and having children, and wouldn't it be nice to make like little booties or blanket or something for my friends who are having these children? Because right now, get these like generic store-bought toys or like clothes, and if they've had more than one child, they don't need clothes. Just get more clothes and it just becomes a big pile of clothes that they don't need, and people really need to stop spending so much money on baby clothes. Well, no, that's not quite what I mean. Baby clothes are expensive, and honestly, how often do you use it before they outgrow them? So I'm rambling now, but I think it's just so much easier to just get secondhand clothes, use it, and then pass it on. So much more cost effective, so much better for the environment. But then you can have these little personal items of blankets and handmade things, which would be so much better. So much better. See, now I feel like this here has just gotten really tight at the top. So I'm not actually sure where I'm supposed to show this needle, because I can't really count the stitches. Yeah, see, now I'm stuck. It's stuck. It's really, really tight up top. It's almost just a bunch of knots. There's no gaps at all that I can see. Oh wait, yeah, there's no gaps up here that I can see that I can work into. I mean, maybe when I'm more skilled, more experienced, I can, but I feel like I actually must have made a mistake here, because that doesn't even look like a proper stitch. It looks like it's just a knot. So I will cut this off and save it, and start again, attempting to make a looser knot. looser knot, looser stitches. Well, loosening my tension. I have to loosen my tension is the main thing. What I'm trying to get at. We'll see if that makes it easier, even if it's not proper. At least I'll be able to practice it easier. Then I can work on tightening it later on. It'd be good to work at different tensions anyway. See, makes it work faster. Definitely faster. And hopefully still fairly uniform. Let me do a couple more and then we'll check that uniformity. Definitely looser now. Definitely faster. Keep saying that, but look at it go. It's just going. So I might not do a square today, but I will attempt to make a second and even a third chain if it's not too, oops, much trouble, I guess, for one video. Yep, again, pretty uniform. Not as uniform, I think, but it's still fairly uniform and much looser. So let's work on that second row, shall we? Shall we? We shall, of course. Of course. Okay. Again, starting that second row is always the biggest challenge for me, really. So I think it's through here. And go through there. And pull it through. And already the tension's tighter than I want to do. Want it to be? Tighter than I want it to be. There we go. Do, 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 do. I don't know why I can't sit in silence for. I just have to talk through everything. Okay. It's like almost like a nervous tick, me talking and all of that. Hang on. Do, 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 do. I need to fill the silence. Do, 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 do. I do, I do, I do. So this is way more than 10. That's okay. I need to practice. I didn't count it at all this time. So we'll see how it goes. Might look wonky, but at least I'll have the practice of putting these double stitches and whatever in. Double stitches? Again, I need to work on my terminology. Probably be a lot easier to follow my videos for myself. Once I do that, I might review it tomorrow. And tomorrow's video will hopefully make more sense if I do that. But also tomorrow is Christmas Eve. So we'll see if I have the time. I'll probably have the time. I don't know if I'll be as committed tomorrow because the holidays are celebrations. The holiday celebrations are going to be in full swing the next couple days, I would assume. So we'll see how my motivation goes. But again, I want to make the videos to keep myself motivated. So I might not look up the terminology tomorrow. But at least I'll get stuff done, hopefully. Because it doesn't matter what time of year it is. I need to practice, and practice means working on it even when you don't really want to. That's right, you work on your skills. Do, 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 do. Maybe I should just sit in silence and do this. I feel like If anyone is watching this, I think I'm turning you away with my awful singing. Thought that, oh my gosh, I was just singing. Oh dear. This one. Just realized I wasn't even looking into the camera, so I don't actually know how much of like this crochet can actually be seen. Did I miss a chain? I did. I missed one, so it's a good thing that I messed that up. I feel like even though I started quite loose, it's getting tighter as I go, which could be a problem for me in the future. Something that I definitely need to work on is being consistent with the tension, and also trying to decide what the tension that I want to start with. Because I still don't know if it's better to do a looser tension or tighter tension. So far with the looser tension, even though it is getting a bit tighter, it's been easier. And that's probably what I want to start. I'm nearly to the end of this one. There should be just 2 more. Why does that not feel right? Might do this one again. I think I went, oh, maybe this is the last one. Interesting. Okay. So again, I've done this part so many times that the yarn is starting to like unravel itself, which makes it a heck of a lot more confusing for me. So there it is. It's very curly. It's very curly. Is that how we're supposed to make hair? Make curly hair? If that's how you make hair, then I'm doing well. Okay. Maybe I can attempt to make an octopus or something with curly tentacles. Although all they'll have are tentacles and no body at the rate I'm going. Let's do here. I don't think I did that right. That's very confusing. Like this. Oh, I think I need to go here. I think I went through the wrong hole. Wonder if that's a normal error to make for beginners, is to not know where they're supposed to put their next stitch. Because that's definitely a problem for me, because I can't see where the new link starts sometimes, and I might skip one, or I might do 2 in one chain link and 1 link, because it's very hard to tell. I honestly just start sticking it where the next hole is so that I can see. I never know if that's the right one. Or if I stick it into 2 by accident. I feel like that's 2. Oh, that looks better. See, sometimes the yarn looks thicker and sometimes it looks thinner. And that's very confusing to me, especially since it's unraveling. So I'm like, am I putting it through the thread where it's unraveled and I'm not getting the full thing? Or am I like sticking it into 1.5 rather than 1? I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone, what I just said, but like, I feel like I'm pulling extra threads through sometimes, and then it gets really knotted, and that's probably why I can't pull this or the other one fully. I couldn't pull the other one fully apart, is because I did that and somehow made it into a knot. Yeah, see, I feel like I'm doing that now. Yeah, if you can see, there's that random thread here. I feel like this one's not a part of anything. This one in the middle here, that's part of a different one that I've picked up somehow, which is not ideal. So let's do that part again. See, now I'm starting to wrap it around more fingers, which has been my problem at the beginning. And I'm still trying to correct, because I feel like when the tension gets looser than I wanted to, I end up just like using another finger to wrap this around to make it tight again. And that's not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to just be able to control it with that one finger. So it definitely is easier, looser. See, I nearly did it again. I nearly pulled an extra thread through. I'm glad I caught it this time. See, now this one, it's also unraveled. It's stuck together. My shoulder's getting sore. I wonder if that's pretty normal, or is it just the way I'm sitting? I need to find a more comfortable way to sit when I do this. No, wrong hole. Stick it through here. Yep. Sometimes it's too tight and then I loosen it and then I make it too loose. And that's not good either. But it makes it easier. So I'm going to just finish off this one. And it's already 23 minutes, so I'm going to end the video there. But so far, I think it's looking a lot better. I think. I'd actually have to do more rows, a couple more rows to really see if it's working the way I want it to, or if it's going to end up being another triangle. See, right here is where I'm confused again. Because do I stick it through this last one? I really should have counted from the start how many I have. So I think it should be this one. Does that go with it? Okay, let's do that. This is my last one, and then I can turn around and continue. But I won't do it on video because it's just becoming very long, and I'm like already feeling embarrassed to post this video, but I'm going to make myself because I'm not redoing this video. Okay. Well, there you have it. It's actually looking pretty decent. Oh, I'm holding it to the wrong side. It's looking pretty decent, as you can see. It looks more like a square so far than my previous attempts, so that is a good thing. I'm going to keep working on this, bring it back tomorrow, and hopefully it is a square and not some weird misshapen thing. We will see. Anyway, bye!